the ex, as in like the ex partner, the ex girlfriend. It's like, no, that person will always get you back, right? You
I
dump them,
gotcha.
they're going to get their revenge.
I
And
gotcha.
that has been the case a few times. And I thought it was going to be the case, with not only Grevthar but Guigo, right? Being dumped off by Red. But Red 4-0, they surprised me, man. I was dead wrong about Red. I thought that I'll say
They're so good.
Maybe another piece of content, maybe another rant when I got more time. I was dead wrong about Red, but they have they have been my favorite team in CBLOL for a long time, ever since they were Red Corinthians. Big game today for the boys, for my soccer team. But Red used to partner with them, and so they were my favorite team. I had no choice. Yeah, I was very wrong about them. Anyway, we're talking about this game right now. Loud Furia. Furia is interesting because if you would have shown me just these 5 champions, I would have thought, oh, Rangers back in the game, right? Rangers back on Furia. This is a champion that he really likes. This is a style that he really likes. But there is a lot on Goot's plate right now because the damage profile gets really, really sticky. You were talking about, maybe this is what you were alluding to, correct me if I'm wrong. Like you said, oh, you can't go Tristana Sivir. Is it more than just the damage composition?
It's just that Sivir doesn't bring anything to the table from a support standpoint. It's just a double range like kill lane at that point, and you're gonna get out sustained, and also late game you're just kind of splitting gold with another ranged carry that doesn't have any gold, and it gets super useless late game. But yeah, that's kind of what I was alluding to. I did not consider the Tristana mid whatsoever.
That's interesting. I mean, but I wouldn't have blamed you necessarily. Jeez, FNB on the business end of some trades here. Speaking of champions that the other team loves, this FNB Olaf, right? That was a special last year, but FNB right now a level up, but has taken some rough trades. Speaking of taking some rough trades, Seos and Root first to level 2 here, but bam! Owen forced the flash out of Redbird. If that W last auto would have landed from Root, maybe Seos gets that ignite down, and that might be a kill for Root and Seos, but still putting a lot of pressure on the Furia bottom lane early.
Oh yeah, and immediately Redbird's like, yeah, I got to get out of here. The playmaking carry of CBLOL is on the back foot here for the first couple levels. We'll see what he could do as the roams start to get going here for the Bard. And that will be interesting to see. Early dive here. Robo's in so much trouble.
Yep, the CC layering, who actually able to flash away here. Now FNB in some trouble, and so is Goot, because Croc showed up out of left freaking field. Axe, where did this dude come from?
Did not see him. He just walked up the lane, I think. I don't know if he's on reset. No, he's not on reset. I generally don't understand the positioning there.
Right place, right time, man.
Yeah, exactly right place, right time, and Robo will survive, something I had absolutely not expected whatsoever. That was incredible to see. The reset comes through from Croc. Just the one long sword, man. He 3-camp cleared in a top gank. Absolutely zero reason for him to take this pathing at all, but
it worked out.
I think he 3-camped into reset and then just walked up the top lane. And I don't know why he did that, but it worked.
No, look, it's one of those, if it works, you're a genius. If it doesn't, you're an idiot. But right now, Croc bailed out his top laner. Maybe Robo would have been okay, but the CC chain that you can pull off, right, with Elise and then stunning the spinny stunny boy from Jackson. Ability name's escaping me. Play by play.
Counter?
Is it just it's Counter Strike, I guess.
Counter Strike, yeah.
All right, there you go. Okay. But no, the CC chain that you can get off that, right? That's what, Elise Renekton, right? Nidalee Renekton, right? These champions with just reliable CC that allow their junglers to come in and just one-tap someone. That's what you draft Elise for, right? You need her with certain lane combinations to be maximally effective. It's not saying that can happen without it, but you're not ganking mid, right? Tristana has no setup.
No setup whatsoever. I think Rise could be an easy mark. I think the thing with Rise is that you kind of expect it, and you try to stay back a little bit. But yeah, if you get hit by the Elise Cocoon, that could be a gank avenue for them. I just don't think it's something that we're going to see here. I think it's going to be mostly top lane where the Elise is focused. There's no real strong early power down the bot side. So, yeah, it should just be mostly top lane. But really want to unlock Redbird here from this bottom lane. That what's going to make the difference here is when Trigo has enough AD to effectively farm under turret with the Q and really start sweeping through the waves. That's going to free up Redbird and let him roam around Summoner's Rift, start helping out the team.
Yeah, no, and you alluded to it earlier. Redbird, one of the premier playmakers in CBLOL, and when in your metas like your Leona, your Nautilus, Rakan, just right these engage metas that make it easier for certain champions, certain supports to get out of lane. Bard and Pike are two of those champions, right? Maybe champions that it's not it's sort of that they can roam, but it's that they can playmake, right? And Bard is a premier example of that. Heck, his entire kit, right? The fact that you run around collecting chimes that literally give you XP. Right, it is a roam enabling champion. It's a dream for Redbird. Little attention here from the junglers up to the top side, but nothing really doing. Trigo blowing the ghost to get back into lane quicker because he and Redbird have had a pretty tough go at it. Root and Seos have been playing this lane really, really well. Say what you want about Jhin in the late game, but this is how you want to see Jhin played in the early game.
Yeah, Jhin Karma with a lot of range power, really able to push through this lane. Here, I think Ghost, from Trigo uses that as he sees route on the reset, tries to force this wave up under the turret to force him to lose some CS. You see it's actually very close to even back now as Trigo pushes that lane out. They had the Noon Quiver in hand now, not going for the reset anytime soon, but they're going to roam as a group up for this dragon. Try to use that pressure to force the objective. Man, I don't know if they might have gotten tracking on Croc at some point. That might have been part of it.
Yeah. No, I guess, right? Because I'm looking at the river and seeing like, well, there's no red vision right on the blue side, but look, a lot of pressure created by Trigo and Redbird bouncing that wave back. There was like a 15 CS deficit. Croc is indeed up in the top lane. Just trying to get the better of FNB here, and FNB playing it disciplined, knowing, look, he's 2 levels up, as Furia able to take down the first dragon, but FNB 2 levels up, not going to draw any unnecessary aggro. Croc not even level 6 yet, he can't trap him under the tower, so FNB just playing that nice and slow.
For sure, and interesting to see him down CS, right? Olaf forcing this up in the early game. And taking it to task there. Rift Herald has spawned at 8 minutes. And it looks like Redbird's on reset. That's just not going to be an objective that they can go for. Unfortunately, the timings didn't work out. They went for the dragon. And they're not going to have... Yeah, they're walking out for it, man. Big portal up there on the top side of your screen in the mini-map. That's not the top side of your screen. The bottom side of your screen. We'll see the fight over the Rift Herald here. I just don't think Redbird's going to be in time.
Yeah, and he's not level 6 either, so he can't impact it from far away. Loud will take the first objective uncontested. Early dragon from Goot and company. Well done. That's what you like to see out of Elise, right? Creating that pressure in the bottom lane and then using it. Like you said, having some sort of tracking on Croc, or maybe they just decided, actually, it's not even about tracking on Croc. We just think we win this 3v3 if it were to transpire. And I don't know if that's the case. Again, Jhin Karma early, that is a whole lot of damage, but either way, objectives traded early on here. Loud with a little bit of a lead. Robo grabbing those turret plates. Croc going to drop the Herald immediately in the mid lane. Not opting to try to optimize it too much. Seos roaming up, seeing if he can shadow Tinones a little bit here. CC immunity coming down. First blood for FNB, getting the better of the trade onto Robo.
It's a total change up in the top lane, right? Oh,
Yeah.
Maybe another fight here.
Ooh.
No, they're going to be fine with the portal. Total change up, right? Robo has been dominating this lane so far in the game. Totally gets flipped around there. What's the difference? Just some items from FMB, some damage coming through there. And you got to remember this is hybrid damage, right? Plenty of magic damage from FMB's W. And, not something you could just stack armor boots into and hope for the best.
No, they'll help out with the auto attacks, to your point, but there's so much other magic damage coming in. Sheen proc, is magic damage?
Sure, why not? Sounds like it could be magic. It seems magical to me.
Seems magical to me. I agree.
Normal swords aren't blue, right?
True. I've never encountered a sword that was blue that wasn't magical. But look, but with the W, right? Just with those auto resets, and the cooldown reduction as well, coming in from the call fields. He had the sustain from the pots, Ruby Crystal as well. Here comes Redbird and
Ooh,
Good
big
again.
portal.
Redbird still not level 6, just cannot press that hill. I feel like he's been level 5 for about 3 to 4 years at this point. Meanwhile, Seos is level 6, obviously not as big a power spike for the Karma. Bam, there's that level 6. And if he can connect a Fate's Call here, or rather, no, Tempered Fate, there we go, different ultimate. If he can connect one of those, then maybe Good is comfortable walking right over a Vision Ward, but they back off to the bot lane of Furia. They are able to catch up on gold here. Redbird coming back with some Swifty boots.
What? Oh, Envy just went all in there and did a bunch of damage to Tinons. That's a really nice play. I mean, he's making this play. He knows Grevthar's or Croc's right behind him. Not Grevthar. Croc's like right behind him too, right? So risky play. They're gonna go again here. Scoot.
Gets so much CC there onto Croc. Tinons, he can't deal that much damage just yet. Croc in, Croc out, but here comes Seos. He can pull out the hurt. Redbird has a Tempered Fate, has Flash, has a Portal, but not opting to do anything too much with it. That was just a bail out Envy. Kills traded 1-for-1, jungler for jungler.
Good with a pretty good play there. Yeah, they do go jungler for jungler here. Less than a minute till that dragon spawns. Interesting fight. I think the interaction between Repel and the Cataclysm was pretty interesting. Good able to get into the circle of rocks. And whoa! Tempered Fate!
Tempered Fate out of nowhere. Robo in a lot of trouble. The exhaust coming down as well. And there's the counter strike. FNB. Man, everyone's calling him FN Bagri. That is the, by the way, for those of you keeping score at home, actually, we get a replay here. And I'll tell you then later what Bagri means. It's going to be part of your CBLOL vocabulary.
That's great. Cataclysm. Yeah, lands on Envy and Goot. Seos comes in with a nice cleanup there. Tinon's able to kill Goot, and they go 1-for-1 on the jungle position. It's an interesting fight. A lot of interesting ability interactions there. What does Bogdi mean?
Bagre. Bagre means carp is the literal translation, a fish. But it basically just means if you call someone a bagre, it means you're bad. That's just the new, trash talk right now. So certain people's names lend themselves better. Redbird got chained up and got followed in a portal to the gray screen. FNB now coming in and trying to close the fight. Croc getting taken down pretty much inevitably.
Oh, it's not good.
Up late. Not going to be enough. Tinons.
Whoa!
What the heck?
That's funny. That's really funny.
Man play. That is a veteran play right there.
First you drop the Realm Warp, then you walk out of the Realm Warp, then you flash back into the Realm Warp, and the Realm Warp gets you out. That's pretty cool. We like to see it for sure. Of course, there we go. Robo just killed.
Doesn't matter.
Just murderized. Holy cow. That was not even close and very spooky for Loud. Back to the Realm Warp point, though. The interesting mechanic about this is that if you're locked up, right, like if you're stunned, it won't physically let you flash, right? So say you get stunned up perma there outside of the Realm Warp. Well, it doesn't matter because you're going to die anyway, right? Because if you get stunned in the Realm Warp doesn't take you if you're stunned. So if you stand outside of it and just hammer flash, well, if your flash goes off, then you get in the Realm Warp and you must not be stunned because your flash went off, so the Realm Warp will take you, right? If you are stunned, it saves your flash automatically because it won't let you flash, and then your Realm Warp goes off without you, which it would have done anyway because you were stunned. So it's a great mechanic. So you either save your stunned, save your flash and die, or you use your flash and live, which is really good. You know exactly what you want from your flash and your ultimate. So cool play there. Cool mechanic from Tinons.
Well, there you go. I love that. I learned something new today. Yeah, back when I mained Rise, he did not have that as his ultimate. Robo getting pushed right back. Envy just feeding kills.
No way, man.
FNB, I'll tell you, I'm really happy for him because I saw a lot of slander about the unanimous MVP after just 2 games. They were calling him the most overhyped player in CBLOL history. Oh, this dude's MVP was useless. He choked in the playoffs. He's going to choke again. He and his cannon minions. He's nothing. After 2 games, are we serious? Get out of here. Now he is donkeying Robo.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely destroying him. This is the best domestic top laner, FNB. I've said it every single split I've watched the guy play. He just is the best. He's just never on the right team, I don't think. To maybe understate things, but yeah, guys like Robo are great top laners, but they're great top laners on even better teams, right? FMB's the real deal. He's the number one guy, and I'll tell anyone who will listen to me.
And it's just like, I don't even care if you think someone's better than him. It's just, oh my gosh,
He's incredible.
Oh, yeah, it's just let's not take him from first to worst after the not even just 2 games, the first 2 games of the split. My brothers and sisters in Christ, those don't count. I'm sorry.
All right.
Like you can't draw conclusions from the first 2 games.
100%. 100%. Yeah, which is why no one should judge me for having only 4 correct predictions. After week 1, Rift Trail down the mid lane, Trigo taking out the Vision. They're looking for meeps all over. You could really tell. Oh, here we go. 10 ounce. He's dealing the damage. Oh, yep. Big Cataclysm.
Croc just playing target dummy right now. Oh, and almost a fantastic Fates call there from Red Tempered Fate. Gosh darn it. I'm going to screw that up very, very often. Furia very much out in the lead here. And you see just without the presence of Robo, the fact that Robo's just playing catch up, he's the only non-support player that's not on a mythic item. My dude's got a garage sale build. And you see just, especially because it's going to take the Rise so long to scale up. Root and Seos are they're just locked in a lane here. Now Robo actually might be able to get a shutdown here. That one felt personal.
It did feel personal. It's also extremely unlikely since he's down a complete mythic item to FNB right now. I don't know how he managed that, but that's crazy. Like, if you look at the builds, he's going to take the reset and complete that first item. But he just had half of a legendary item. Well, FNB has half of a legendary item too. He just also had the Divine Sunder, and he just lost the 1v1. I don't know how that happened. We saw like the tail end of it, but yeah. Man, oh man, the fights to the death in the top lane are just so crazy right now. I can't believe Robo won that one.
Yeah, I mean, had the ultimate and gets true damage, I guess, and that was just enough. Robo, yeah. I mean, if there's a guy who knows, I mean, these two know their way around different top laners, right? They know these champions backwards and forwards. These are guys that are obsessed with being the best. I mean, you might be looking at the 2 best top laners in the league right now. I mean, obviously, Hirit has a shout, and Los Grunges stabilized after a bit of a rocky start after that first victory. Coming up next, you see it on your screen, Fluxu and Kaboom.
Give me a good game.
Yeah, that's going to be a great game. How's facing off against his former team. And before today, I would have said, well, that means House and Flukes are going to win, but they do look better. Kaboom, I have no idea what to think about Kaboom. I feel like this is the case every split. Redbert looking for a pick here onto Robo. If you pop Ragnarok as Olaf and you get Tempered Faded, are you immune from that?
Yes. Yeah, you are.
Okay. So if you see it flying at you and you pop ult, you can just walk right through it.
Yeah. So you have stasis. When you pop Olaf ult, it is stasis. You just can also move.
Interesting. And that's how it's coded.
Yeah. Yeah. So you actually there's like especially with old Olaf ult. With old Olaf ult. Oh, here we go. Temper fade out.
On. Yeah, that's going down. Furia. Furia able to get the dragon. Now Root opening up the Jhin ult. Misses the first shot. Gets the second one. Misses the third. Where's that big fourth one going to go? Lands right onto Goop. And actually, that's big. That allows Croc. No, I thought it was going to allow Croc to finish him back up. Now Root joining the fight.
Come on, Robo.
Down here. But Robo is just monstrous. You get true damage on this champion. Isn't that right, Axeman?
Yeah, you sure do get the true damage. That's my favorite part of the champion. You get that true damage down, and you really chunk some enemy champions. He gets a double kill out of this play. Really nicely done. He's going into a tank mythic, it looks like. So he's going to be a big, big boy here on Summoner's Rift. Here's a replay coming through for you. It started out so innocently with the Tempered Fate, which is the correct name, by the way. I said it right. Cataclysm in onto Goot. Goot repels out. Eventually has to come back down, flashes out. But then it's the 4 shots. There's 3 and 4 directly onto Goot. Croc says, that's my go button. And Robo says, me too.
Man. I mean, the healing from the Ravenous Hydra. That feels good.
Yeah, really nice healing there. And lots of good durability for him.
Yeah, so he's going, like you said, Axe, into that more into a more tank role. And with yeah, I don't know, right? Because I mean, you do have a lot of you have physical damage in obviously Root in your AD carry. Eventually, Tinone's going to get online. Envy over the wall with absolutely no fear, just melts right through the aforementioned AD carry. Peekaboo, it's Tristana. Furia get a pick here, and they're going to turn it into another tower. Now they're knocking on the base kind of out of nowhere.
They really are. Jin is such a bad champion. We are taking the base right now. Tinones. Ooh, Croc's behind them.
Yeah, and he kind of
And
gets
now
caught
he's
out here. Cataclysm's back in and can't really find anything. This is the most discombobulated we have seen Loud. Loud can play very well from ahead. We've seen that. That's part of their brand. They can create leads for themselves, but Loud from behind this split so far has not looked
oh
has not
boy.
looked very good, Axe.
No, not look very good at all. And FMB and Robo have a contest across the map to see who can take each other's turret first. It is FMB that wins. Robo's going to go and check Baron. He's not going to like what he finds there.
No, but he is going to, even
Oof.
without a Baron, just take the portal right over, try to kill Redbird. The CC is just too much. He actually able to
He
get it
got
and
him.
get a shutdown there onto Redbird. He was on a one-man mission to just force himself back into this game. And now he's actually even with FNB as far as items are concerned.
He is even there. And he's got Jack Show, the Protean, which is pretty interesting stuff. FMB looking for the Zanyas, which is going to be annoying in some of these team fights. The gold lead has started to drop off the map there. 6K gold lead in favor of Furia. They do pick up the Baron, so they're on that big power play as well. They're going to increase that lead, and there is a Dragon coming up in 2 minutes. So things not looking good for Loud. I don't really see it getting better for them. They do have scaling options. I think Jin gets stronger as the game progresses, and so does Rise. But it's really just a question of access right now, 4x4. Furia has
Yeah.
really good access to enemy carries, and those carries having additional damage doesn't really change that access, right? So things not necessarily getting better here for Loud.
No, and with, I mean, and if the engages keep being as kind of piecemeal, right, as they have been, you don't really see I don't really see any team fight progressing very well for Loud. And excuse me, Redbird with the Tempered Fate can slow down any sort of engage. And even if Loud are all on the same page, they could just chew right through Croc. If he decides to go forward, great. Ult the back line and just watch your tank die.
Yep. Tank gets shredded right up. I think it's pretty funny. Both the ranged marksmen there for Furia are building the same things.
Yep.
They just have two marksmen, and it's working super well for them. So we'll see if any other teams adopt this strategy to move in here. They're still trying to get as much gold out of this power play as possible, and then they'll force the fight over the Dragon. Should be 15 seconds.
Yeah, and it'll be it's sole point right now. This is for all the marbles here, up 8,000 gold. See FNB and Envy leading the charge as far as XP and level. Root way down there at the bottom, along with Croc. It's been that kind of game for him.
Realm Warp here. Check out the positioning from the Rise and the rest of the Loud.
Keeping an eye on that.
Yeah, it's just gone. Yeah,
they have to contest the Dragon. Maybe they were looking for some sort of play afterwards. They decide against it. That Ocean Soul is going to hurt. Yeah, and with an inhibitor down, Furia very much in control here. I'm impressed, Axeman. I was a little worried about this draft, and while I do want to give a lot of credit to Furia because they deserve it, this has not been a great game from Loud. They've looked sloppy.
No, looked really sloppy, and I gotta say the J4 pick's really not doing it for me either. Maybe it's the build, maybe it's just the pick itself, but not a lot of value created, I would say, from this J4 pick. Something I will say, Ocean Soul is not necessarily the strongest soul. I don't think it really helps out Furia too much. So that's certainly something. They might try and go for Robo here. Just might wait for his reset to go off. Nope, they're going to show up and force him to walk away.
And I'm just wasting his time.
Yeah, waste his time.
Waste his time 2020.
Ladies, waste his time.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Do it.
Yeah. You heard it here first.
FNB very much strong enough to handle just about anybody in the side lane here. He's been sitting on what feels like that item combination for a while. Hasn't taken a reset, but when he does, he will have TP to get back into any sort of fights. But right now, just pushing out the waves, taking a look at these lane assignments. Yeah, I mean, look, you've got effectively 280 carries. You could put one in each lane and just shred right through. And then with Redbird and Goot, you've got a little bit of an assist for both. And then FNB and Robo, of course, will be in their side lane, prolonging their 1v1.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Envy maybe caught out here. Curtain calls out.
Trouble here, but bam, there go the 2 shots.
Oh, hey! Croc finally picks one up for himself there. Good for him. And with the Cataclysm, too, so Radiant Virtue pops off there. There's Robo looking for something. FNB wants all the smoke, though.
Now, here's the thing. I mean, Loud have, have a rare numbers advantage. There's nothing really to fight over. But if you get some sort of pick, maybe you start to establish a foothold back into this game. Like you said, the Ocean Soul really not doing a ton for the composition of Furia, right? They're not really trying to fight super front to back in a slower fight, that or in a more kind of quick upfront burst fight. That's where they're going to thrive. Goot's going to get popped in a second. I mean, there's a lot of squishy carries here, right? The tankiest member on the line of Furia is Jax. He's going to get some value out of his Ocean Soul in these extended fights, but other than that, not really.
Not really at all, right? And if you're Loud, you want to make sure you're not fighting these channels either. It's a good way to get Sivered and to eat, Tempered Fate, all these big AoE abilities coming through. Really want to fight in open spaces, I would say, for you. Are going to help you out quite a bit. And also just not walking into death bushes. You got to establish some vision setup here before you start working into these objectives.
Yeah, the Baron is up. Elder won't be for another couple minutes. And Furia doing just that, setting up the vision really, really well. And now, I mean, yeah, it's up to, right now they're just playing defense. I mean, it's not even about taking a straight up 5v5. It's just about making them walk up. And with one pick from Redbird, right, the Tempered Fate did go out, but that'll be back up shortly. But one Cocoon, one Stunning Strike, or one Counter Strike, rather, and you've got yourself a pick. Now, the only answer to that, I will say, is, of course, Robo. And we saw what he could do when he was super behind. Now he's on much more even footing. Here's another thing that 280 carries in your composition allows you to do, Axeman, is just shred neutral objectives. That was taken in no time flat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no time at all. They got the marksman coming through. And, we actually don't get IE on Triga. That's interesting. He's going to try and shred them down with the LDR, I guess. But, you can see the red vision. There's so many control wards through that river. And they are playing this super safe. And doing a really, really nice job of controlling objectives. I think they deserve to win this game at this point. Obviously, you have to execute the end-of-game scenario to win the game, but they've done everything else perfectly so far.
Yeah, and I like the LDR right on the Siver because, like you said, fighting in these choke points is a great way to get Sivered. Yes, but she can just spread damage so easily. Good having to repel out of the Cataclysm into safety, almost picked off there. But yeah, can just melt through what are 2 Randuin's Omens coming through for both Croc and Robo on the J4 and the Olaf. And even just that little bit of armor that Tinones has. Deathless Tinones, I might add. Again, there was that cheeky Realm Warp escape. But other than that, Tinones, he's just been playing like he does, a very fundamentally sound game. Now, Redbird, he's got to be careful with those Tempered Fates. I mean, this comp for Furia could do a lot of good things, but one thing it can't do is reliably engage, right? There's a lot of kind of good secondary and tertiary engage. The only really primary engage that I'm hesitant to even call it that is that Tempered Fate from Redbird, and he's throwing these out willy-nilly, which, look, you're ahead, you have that wiggle room, but you got to be careful.
Definitely a run at you comp, I would say.
Yeah.
They have some engage abilities, but like you were saying, no primary engage. and that does make it a little bit difficult, but they've done such a good job controlling zones that it is just okay for them so far. But FNB pushing to end. He has the power to, for sure. He's got the Baron buff, Baron empowered minions. He's hitting that inhibitor.
Yeah, and I like this. I think you do have to send Trigo back, right? 'Cause I don't think he's gonna win any sort of 1v1. Redbert laying down the CC, Envy waiting in the bush, and with all the vision that Furia have right here, they are making Loud walk up to him. They are making Loud, like you said, Axe, do exactly what they don't want to do, which is fight in choke points, fight blind. Croc going in, the follow-up isn't there. That's so much damage coming right down onto Rune. He's going to get taken out of this fight. In another lane, wreaking havoc is FNB. Tino's just putting out little fires everywhere. Robo drops a ward down over the wall. He's able to see the control ward, or no control ward in the pit. DC immunity pop. There goes the Ragnarok. Meanwhile, again, FNB still laying waste to the top lane. Tino's doing what he can. There goes a stopwatch. Croc in forward. It looks disjointed. He has to flash out of his own Cataclysm. Root absolutely shredded. Envy mows right through him. This one is looking like it's coming up. Furia. We might have the two teams that started off on opposite ends of the spectrum be right back to ready INTZ's record in the standings after 2 weeks. This is why you don't draw conclusions after the first couple weeks. Furia, front to back, played themselves a phenomenal game over the defending champions, who all of a sudden, Axeman, find themselves reeling.
Yeah, it's back-to-back textbook League of Legends. You saw it in that game, last game. Now you're seeing it again here. It's just a really well-played game of League of Legends. Every single win condition was expertly understood. And, yeah, it's just